It is a public-private partnership for the establishment of the law school, which will carry the names of the late outstanding Guyanese jurist J.O.F. Haynes. Guyana will own 30% of the shares and 70% will be shared between the other partners, says Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams, who is the architect behind the formation of the law school here.
And let me just make this clear, they are the investors, and their contribution would be largely everything except supplying the land space. But of course, as Dr. Trevor indicated, the government obviously will be facilitative in other areas. We were here earlier, but I did say that we had obtained permission almost 2 decades ago, and we're embarking on certainly utilizing that permission in relation to the establishment of this law school.
Minister Williams said the University of Guyana Tuacan campus area is being considered as the possible location. The top 25 University of Guyana law graduates every year are allowed to complete their certificate in legal education studies at the UWooding Law School in Trinidad and Tobago. This deal with UWood, Minister Williams said, will soon come to an end. In September of 2017, we'll see the first 28 students beginning their studies for their certificate in legal education here.
About phasing out the UWooding relationship, we all know in Ghana the problems of our law students attending that institution. It's very expensive, and the cost is almost, I think it's about 4 to 5 million Guyanese dollars, or even more than that. So the contribution we made in relation to the 2 years of 2016 to 2018, as you know, one student, the entitlement from that contribution would be about 11,000 TT dollars, and that's just maybe half of the total amount for their studies. So it's very expensive studying in the region.
Dr. Trevor Hamilton of the University College of Caribbean stated that the law school will go beyond just preparing attorneys to be called to the bar. He said as new economies emerges in the Caribbean, modern law practices and studies have emerged, and the law school in Guyana will cater for that as well as for continuation of education for all persons in the legal profession, ranging from lawyers, paralegals, to judges.
You can create a new industry, all sorts of new industry out of law. Take, for example, I know that you have some BPOs here, which is data processing, etc. Now, if your school could say, concentrate on training, let's say 500 or 1,000 paralegals, tomorrow you will have a new industry for processing law, legal documentation, a new industry. What are some advantages this partnership brings? Well, first of all, economic. One, I don't think Guyana could go it alone, because I don't know how many students, LLBs you produce at UG, but we'll talk about that. But in the last 20 years, 15 years or so, we have moved tertiary education in Jamaica from maybe under 10% of the age cohort to now 29%. So I tell you the kind of growth we've had in our tertiary education in Jamaica.
As for the cost students will pay to attend the university here, has been no determination on the price students will have to pay. But
like this Honorable Minister said, we're working on the feasibility study. The price is one of the last things to come up, but we are mindful that the difference in the economies, Guyana is a cheaper location. We said that before. We're also mindful that our and other alternatives is well over maybe $15,000 per annum, 15,000 US per annum. So we take those into consideration, and we want to make sure that it becomes more affordable to Guyanese, and because Guyanese economy and the cost situation here is much less We expect it to be much less than that, but we haven't got the details yet.
The University of Guyana welcomed the move to establish a law school in Guyana. Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Dr. Barbara Reynolds, said for too long, Guyanese law graduates have been precluded from completing the legal education certificate on the basis of physical space.
And there's something in that narrative that has not been quite right for a long time. And if the JOF Haynes Law School will reverse this situation, that in itself must be something positive for our graduates and from anyone who seeks to be admitted to the bar.
The partners that will be overseeing the running of the university were also in attendance, and they are Dr. Trevor Hamilton, advisor on law school venture. Jamaican partners were Professor Dennis Gale, executive chancellor and interim president of the University of the Caribbean, Courtney Winter, chairman of the Law College of the Americas. Also in attendance was Minister of Education, Dr. Rupert Wupnerine, and Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Dr. Barbara Reynolds. Andrew Weeks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.